guys, Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and I am taking on a new challenge in my life. I'm actually going to be building my own guitar. And, you know, I'm not a super technically savvy person. I'm going to give it a shot, and you guys are going to be able to watch the process. And I'm going to get a little help from a few friends, including my good people over at Solo Guitars. So anyway, we're going to open up this box and see what we got. I am opening. First thing I see, which is kind of nice because it's totally unintimidating, it's a set of strings to put on it. So it looks like we've got a bag here with all the electronics, the tuners. There's a cable in here. Looks like the pickup or pickups. We've got a roasted maple neck, okay? Butterscotch telly, okay? Yeah, this is actually really cool to feel and to see, not on a guitar. I don't do that a lot. All right, and then we've got a Telecaster style body. Let's take a little sniffy test on this one. Oh yeah, that's some high quality wood there. There we go. That's all you need. We'll put some strings on it, start rocking out. All right, so like I said, I've never soldered anything before, but I'm definitely up for the challenge. I see a guitar, which I'm so familiar with. You know, I've spent, over 20 years with one in my lap every single day. So I'm very comfortable with the guitar itself. So I think it'll be really interesting for me to kind of like dig in to the actual mechanics of the guitar, which I've never done before. And I think it'll connect me closer to the guitar as an instrument. All right, so you can also see that it's basically an open canvas. It's unfinished, the neck and the body. And since this is a new, fun, unique project for me, I'm gonna actually have my good friend and amazingly talented artist, Jay Alders, paint the guitar, put a cool custom painting on it, because it was a good opportunity to do it. But if you were to get one of these kits, you can go right on Solo Guitars' website, and they have tons of classic finishes for you. They got surf green, sunburst, the whole bit. So you can do it yourself right through the site. But I'm gonna have my buddy put something really cool and custom on this.
Guys, I got this guitar kit from my friend Marty Schwartz, and I'm excited to get working on it, so let's get to it.
I actually sent the body to my friend, Jay Alders, who painted this amazing guitar. So I just got the body back, and now over here, I'm hanging out with my friend Dave from Solo Guitars to take my very first soldering lesson. I have never soldered before. I'm lucky to have someone actually walk me through it. This is completely foreign, so hopefully you guys have fun being on this journey with me. Take it away, Dave!
Hey Marty, thanks very much. Now, first things first, this is super easy. I mean, you'll have this done with no problem at all. It is only 6 connections that we are gonna have to make. 4 of those connections are exactly the same. So let's start. I'm gonna start with my bridge pickup, which will be the red wire that you've got, and that's gonna go directly to the switch itself. Now, if you've got this control plate in the correct orientation, you'll have the bridge pickup connecting to the first 2 terminals closer to the neck. So all we're gonna do is get that wire to both of those connections, the wire itself and not the shielded plastic part. And we're gonna take our soldering iron, we're gonna bring it right to the connection itself, and we're just gonna take a little bit of our solder and push it right into that joint just to make sure that we've got a nice clean connection. Once we have it in there, we're gonna do it directly to the one next to it as well so that we have a bridged connection, and we're good to go with the first solder point.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick it through the hole.
Yep. You're gonna get it through that hole, you're gonna make sure that it is nice and in there, and then drop your solder in and you're good to go.
And the solder is almost like glue or something, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a metal glue if you think about it.
And what do we use the sponge for, to wipe the soldering iron?
Exactly. So as soon as you are done with your soldering iron, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna kind of wipe it along the sponge just to kind of get any of that excess solder off of the iron itself, just so we can make nice clean connections.
All right, I got it.
That was the first one. The second one now is if we take our bare wire on the metal casing on the switch itself, not the green circuit board part, but the metal casing, there's 2 tabs, one on either side. That's where we're gonna solder our grounds to. So the bare wire is gonna go to the metal tab that's on the silver casing and get soldered right onto that tab. Again, we're just gonna bring our soldering iron directly to where we're putting that solder. We're gonna make contact and just push a little bit of that solder in there just to make sure that we have a nice solid connection.
So we've got this ground wire that connects to the this little, little silver box, basically, that's the switch connector, right?
Exactly, correct.
And I want to solder now this ground into this little hole right here, right?
Precisely.
Now, do you recommend the soldering iron and then the solder on top, or the solder below and then you heat that?
Generally, I bring the soldering iron to the point, and then I bring my solder to it and push that solder right onto that hot surface to make it melt into the right spot.
Okay, I am going to try that now. And then basically I just give a little tug to see if it's stuck?
Yeah, generally I'll give it a nice little tug just to make sure that it is in there and it's not going anywhere.
All right, I got it.
That was the first pickup and we're done with that. We're all good with that. So now the next set of connections are going to be exactly the same as the ones you made, except mirrored with the yellow wire. So it's going to go in the last 2 holes as well as grounded to the tab.
Got it. So the one with the white is going to replicate the same thing I did.
Exactly, just on the opposite side now.
Got it. Ooh, I think I nailed it on this one.
Sounds like you're getting it.
All right, yeah, got a nice little tug. So now let me guess, I'm gonna take the grounded part of the yellow cable and I'm gonna replicate that.
Exactly.
Yep, good to go.
Awesome.
So easy.
Yeah,
Anyone could do it.
it's a lot easier than a lot of people think. So now we're more than halfway done. We only have 2 connections left to make. Now you'll see on your control plate there, you have 3 wires coming off of the volume pot. So the pot in the middle, 2 black and a yellow. Now
Yep.
your 2 blacks are going to be the ground wires, and the yellow is going to be your hot wire. Now these get soldered to your output jack. So this is where you're going to be plugging the guitar in. Now the yellow wire is going to go to the hot of that output jack, which will be the terminal directly across from that funny shaped one that holds the tip of the cable in.
Okay.
So again, like I like to do is I like to put that little wire through the hole just so I have.
Okay, got it. And so you recommend, once again, just putting it through the hole and...
Exactly. So yeah, I fish it through the hole. Now, keep in mind, when you are doing this, you are going to want to make sure that the 2 wires that you'll be soldering are actually being soldered through the hole that the cavity that leads to the control cavity, so that you can get that, put in the correct spot. If you do solder it outside of the guitar, no problem at all. All you're going to need to do is remove the little plate that comes on the jack itself, squeeze it through, and put that plate back on. So, like I said, I bring the hot soldering iron to my point where I want the solder and just push a little bit of solder in there, just enough to make the connection.
That was my best one yet. Nice little solder pearl droplet, perfectly where it needs to be. Okay, so I got the yellow one connected.
Perfect.
Now we have the two black grounds.
Yes, so the other black ground, one of the two, is gonna go to that other post or other terminal that's on that output jack. So the one that is not where you've soldered to already.
Cool. All right, well, I got it. So what do we have? We have one more black wire.
That's it, and believe it or not, we're actually done with the soldering as it is for now. So
Oh, okay.
that's it, soldering irons are down, and now this last black wire, if you look inside the control cavity itself, you'll see the hole, the same hole that both of the pickup wires are coming through. We're gonna push that through that hole and bring it into the cavity where the bridge pickup sits. And then from there, it's actually gonna be making contact with the bridge itself to ground out the rest of the guitar.
Oh, yeah, so we've got this little black wire, Dave, sticking out of this little hole here, right?
Yes.
Out by the bridge pickup, correct?
Exactly. And then all we're gonna do is screw our bridge down right on top of there and you're good to go. We're all done. Now, the last thing I like to do is just test to make sure everything is working the way it should. So I take a patch cable that's already plugged into an amp. I plug it directly into the output jack so it looks like this. And then from there, what I do is I take something metal, usually a screwdriver in this case, and I put the selector switch into the bridge position and just give it a check. And I hear that there's sound coming from my amp, so it's all good to go.
All right, so this is the moment of truth.
That's it.
All right, I'm turning the katana on. I'm activating the katana. Yeah! Woohoo!
That's it. So yeah, I just like to just check all of the different positions, make sure everything's good, and then you're good to
It
go.
works. It works, and it actually works the right way. I didn't reverse it or anything. Cool. Now it gets more into the luthier aspects of guitar, like making the strings not buzz and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you again for walking me through that. And yeah, and it was actually wasn't too bad. All right, huge shout out to Dave for teaching me how to solder, and also shout out to all the guys at Solo Guitars. You know, I've never done any of this stuff before. I've never put my own guitar together. I've never soldered electronic equipment before. So, I'm trying to learn some new skills. But if you don't want to get as adventurous as I am, Solo Guitars is also offering solderless guitar kits. So you don't have to worry about it. You can check that out. Anyway, let's put this guitar together. All right, so now because of the way we had to solder, the wires are actually funneling through some of these chambers and holes. But none of this has been installed. It's just all connected through the wires, through these little holes and chambers. So we've got a pick guard right here that's gonna have to be screwed down. We've got this control plate here. We've got the bridge pickup plate and a wire that's going through this little chamber here, connecting to the controls. And then we've also got the neck pickup, which is wired. You know, none of these things are screwed in yet, but that's wired through a chamber to the controls as well. So what I'm gonna do here is, it all looks pretty basic and a lot easier than the soldering part. Basically, I've got a bag that the kit came with, which has all kinds of little, we've got, I recognize this tool. We've got how to, a string action gauge measurer for the setup. But what we're really looking for now, little tools. That's nothing. Okay, classic. We've got the plate on the back for the back of the guitar where the neck is gonna set up. I see a tuner. It's almost like, like a Lego kit. Let's see. Okay, so here's all the rest of the tuners. So we're gonna be putting that on. Oh, here's one more tuner. And then we've got some screws, Allen wrench here. So I think the first thing that we were going to want to do is get the pick guard and the control plate screwed in, which seems pretty basic. I've got a Phillips head screwdriver. Now I just want to find the proper screws I need for that. So I'm gonna take this Phillips head. The other thing I notice is this control plate fits with the pickguard. I think I'm gonna have to probably not screw in all the screws too tight yet. All right, so now I need to connect this bridge plate because we've got the pickguard on. Notice the pickguard's got the neck pickup and the bridge plate has the bridge pickup. I found 3 thicker and bigger screws than for the pickguard, and there's 3 holes here on the plate. And yeah, it doesn't, nothing too hard. You just got to get the screw in there, screw it in. Now there is a lot of string tension that's going to be, the strings are going to be being pulled from this plate. So this needs to be really secure into the body. But yeah, this is working. Oh yeah, that's perfect. All right, so we just secured the bridge plate now, and it is definitely not going anywhere. And then as I look here, I've got 2 longer screws, but they're a little bit thinner than what we're using for the bridge plate. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be used to secure this control plate here that has the pickup selectors, volume, and tone. All right, so now we've got pickguard connected, the bridge plate connected, and now the control plate totally secure. So then the next thing I'm going to do here, we got a little hanging doohickey right here. We don't want that. So we got to push this in, and I got to find what looks like 4 tiny screws to put this cable jack in. So first I'm just going to kind of see. Oh, yep. Just had to press hard to get it. And I see got 4 tiny screws right there. All right. I have now connected the guitar jack plate here on the side of the guitar. Those screws were a little more finicky. I think the next thing I want to do is connect the neck. I think that seems like a pretty exciting thing to do. Just gonna fit it in here. Starting to look like a guitar. I've never done this before, but I think it's fairly obvious just from playing guitar for 25 years or so that we've got a classic plate here that's gonna go on the back with some really thick, strong screws, because this is going to be holding these 4 screws are going to be holding the entire neck in place. There's a little plastic, almost like a washer plate that goes in between, but then we just got some really thick screws here. I'm gonna put them into place, and since this is holding the whole neck, I've never done this before, but I'm gonna tighten them all equally at the same time, I think. Yeah, man. Now I can at least play air guitar, brah. All right, so now I've got the tuners, and they come with this little washer connected, so you want to remove that, and then you're going to stick the tuner up from underneath, and then take this washer and put it on top and screw it in, so it tightens it. And then on the back side, you can see a screw hole. So we're going to want to line it up with basically where the screw hole is, and then just tighten it like you'd tighten a nut. And then I'm just going to rinse, lather, and repeat the process. Once again, underneath, and then this through the top. Just tighten it with my fingers for now. We do have a tool to tighten that more. I believe this will work as a nice little wrench for us. It's a great guitar tool right here that they included. All right, so I'm going to do another one here. 5 down, so you could do Keith Richards right now, but we got to get that 6th one on there. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to line these up. There's a little screw hole in the back here. All right, we've got the tuners in place. We've got the bridge in place. We've got the neck on. We've got everything screwed in. Now we're going to put strings on this thing. So I've got a real handy tool, which is a string winder and cutter in one tool. Comes in real handy. And I got some D'Addario strings right here. Let's get to it. Right, I have put the guitar together, and once again, just a humongous shout out to Jay Alders, you guys. Look at that custom paint job he did. Now, if you haven't heard of Jay Alders, he's an amazing visual artist in New Jersey. He does all the artwork for a friend of mine's band, Slightly Stupid, that I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of, as well as artists like G-Love and Special Sauce. He does all the artwork for their posters and some of their album covers and stuff. And he's just an amazing artist. So I'm going to have a link below for Jay's website, his art. You know, he sells prints, he does commissions, everything. So check him out. And he's such a great guy. And I want to thank him again for painting this guitar on the back of the headstock and everything. We've got a full guitar now. Now there's some there's like fine tuning. For instance, you've got what's called a truss rod that goes through the neck, and you can, adjust the tension. You can raise and lower the action. There's a lot of fine tuning that can be done. But since I'm not, an expert, I did it all the way to completion. And then if I want any fine tuning, I'll have one of my friends who's more of an expert, do any final adjustments just if I need it. But you can hear right now, this thing is ready to go and it plays great and it sounds great. Got a little overdrive on the amp here. Right, I gotta say, I was a little more nervous about just screwing everything in nice and tight and then playing it and having maybe the action not, be right, or the intonation, meaning like some of the notes not ringing out. And without knowing anything about like being a luthier, I just screwed everything on the way I felt it should be, and plugging it in and playing it, having it be in tune, rocking out, the action is nice and low, but nothing's buzzing. Nothing's ringing out. I mean, so it just feels really nice. The action, the playability, the pickups, I'm running with a bit of a crunch drive here, but I could go clean, and it's giving me that nice telly sound. So yeah, just feels great. And, there's this little certain sense of pride, working on this and having it just be a bunch of parts and wood, and going through the whole process there's like a sense of reward. It's a very rewarding feeling, and it looks so cool. But that's also was part of the plan. It started as just a blank piece of wood, and so we had a nice artist put something really unique and cool on it. And then I was able to put it together and even solder for the first time. And now I have a new guitar. All right. I hope you guys had fun. I had a blast with this project. It's so fun to go from the very beginning to the finished product, all with my own hands. So huge shout out once again to Solo Guitars for the awesome kit and for also, helping me along the way. If you want your own guitar kit, they have great stuff to choose from. So check the link down there for Solo Guitars, and you could do your own project. Also, once again, huge shout out to Jay Alders for the amazing custom paint job on the guitar. I'll let you know my plans in the future with this guitar. But anyway, huge shout out to him. There's a link for all of his stuff below as well. And just want to thank you for supporting Marty Music, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this whole process. It was definitely something different and fun. And we'll see you again. Take care.